Okay. Hey, everybody. Today I wanted to talk about the DFAM by Moog. Moog. Whatever. This thing is amazing. I mean, there are so many reviews and tutorials and interesting videos about the DFAM, but I wanted to talk about something a little bit different. I wanted to talk about using the DFAM's oscillators, for pitch, instead of using them for drum sounds. And the DFAM is marketed as a drum synthesizer. It is the drummer from another mother. And the first time I heard this thing, just as a drum synthesizer, I knew that I was going to have to buy this thing. It sounds completely amazing, absolutely disgusting in the best possible way. It is huge. That's one thing that's a drawback. It's 60 HP. So the idea of racking this up in your Eurorack, you have to, accommodate for space. And for a while, I had this outside of my Eurorack setup because it's 60 HP. But I found that I wasn't using it enough. And since it sounds so amazing, I really can't stress that enough. This thing sounds so good. It's one of my favorite pieces of Eurorack equipment that's come out in years. But it's huge. But I knew that I wanted to use it, so I figured out a way. And I kind of built my whole Eurorack system around the DFAM, which is interesting, because it's predominantly a drum synthesizer. But depends on what you're going for. If you want to make melodic music, maybe the DFAM isn't for you, depending on how you use it. But the DFAM can be used for melodic, pieces of music also, and that's one thing that I wanted to talk about today. So the DFAM has two oscillators, and right now what you're hearing, let's open that filter a little bit. Right now what you're hearing is the DFAM being sequenced by the QuBit Bloom. And it's a pretty simple sequence, but all we're doing is we're taking the out of channel 1 from the Bloom and taking it into the VCO1 CV. So since the DFAM has two oscillators, you can hard sync them with this switch so that they both stay aligned to oscillator 1. If you're bringing pitch into oscillator 1 or 2, you can sync them to either. But what I find interesting is not syncing them and using oscillator 2 as kind of like a dirty modulation source for oscillator 1. It's hard to explain without just hearing it. So let's just play with it, and all the pitch information and like the melody that you're hearing for this video is going to be coming from the DFAM. All the drum sounds will be coming from an Electron Analog Rhythm Mark 1. So let's just start. And I'm not going to do any drum sounds initially. I'm just going to play with the DFAM and then eventually bring up the drums because you can't not have drums. You got to have some jams. Okay, so right now you're just hearing oscillator 1. Oscillator 2 is turned down. So you can see with this EG amount over here, you can really control, like the attack. You just get all kinds of nice envelopes out of this thing. And it's just, I think that what really makes me like this synthesizer is the unorthodox way that it's laid out. Like how we're controlling envelope information over here with one knob, how you can change the VCA to fast envelopes or slow envelopes, and why is that switch over here, not over there? It's just kind of a weird layout, but for me at least, it leads to just really fun musical ideas. It is just sheer techno. So I'm gonna go to a normal, kind of like envelope straight. And like I was saying, this is just VCO1. So what we're gonna do now is gonna bring up VCO2, which is not hard synced. You can see that switch is off. So let's turn it up. Weird, you know, man. It's got so many different personalities. And like, we're not using any of these patch points over here. It's just straight oscillator envelope. You know, it's just bare. This just unsynced VCO2. It's gonna change the frequency of VCO2. You can't deny. I see the DFAM get a lot of hate. Not hate, but you know, it's too big. It just is. But I'm dealing with it. This thing sounds too good not to be wrapped up. That's happening right now is since the DFAM has its own sequencer and I'm just going into VCO1 and I'm not really messing with any of the sequence information down here, like the pitch, if I change it, nothing happens because clearly I'm sequencing this pitch externally via the Bloom, but the velocity, I just have them all turned up right now. But if I turn one down, it's pretty interesting, right? On the fly, we can change kind of like note on off without touching our external sequencer. We're gonna need some drums. what I mean when I'm saying that the DFAM is the best sounding oscillator, general sound source that I have in my system. And I mean, I guess you could say that that's not saying much because I only have kind of a Platts, which is a clone of mutable. I mean, it's a Beehive, but it's a clone of mutable Platts. I have a 2HP pluck that I have for like kind of, ringing string sounds. I think it sounds better than the string sounds that are on Platts. And I have a simple 2HP VCO for your standard oscillator sources like square, triangle, whatever, ramp wave. But yeah, I mean, I've played with a lot of oscillators, and the sad part for me is that this thing is so huge. If they could do a slimmed down version, or if somebody cool wants to low-key make a clone of DFAM that's maybe just a little smaller, Moog, take my advice, just make it a little smaller. I love it, and I'm keeping it in my system no matter what. But it is huge, but you can't deny it. Thanks for watching. This is video number 2, and I appreciate it if you watched video 1. That's awesome too. That was about the Bloom, and just kind of right away I got a little bit of feedback, which was cool. So like and subscribe, and I appreciate you. Fone.